In a highly critical report on the government's contract with Vital's Global Healthcare for the management of 3 hospitals, the Auditor General said that he found evidence indicating collusion between those acting on behalf of government with the investors of VGH, thereby making the whole process questionable, regardless of whether the process complied with the government's procedural and regulatory requirements. The report was placed on the table of the House by Speaker Andrew Farrugia. The Auditor General found a serious lack of governance and integrity in the procedures used by government in the award of this hospital concession to Vitals. In the 200-plus page report, the Auditor General expressed concern that an agreement was allegedly made with a number of VGH's investors before the tender was even issued, and this, in his view, was reason enough for the disqualification of VGH from the tenders. Meanwhile, opposition leader Adrian Delia asked the government to explain its position on the revelations by the National Audit Office. On his part, former Minister Konrad Mizzi said that Cabinet had been kept abreast and had approved the final agreement. The European Commission forecasts that this year Malta will be the least economically affected of all Eurozone countries as a result of the pandemic. In its summer forecast, the European Commission said that the Eurozone is expected to decrease by 8.7% in what it stated is a greater economic depression than it had originally forecast. Malta will not fare as bad, according to the European Commission, which forecasts that in the coming year it will experience the greatest growth at 6.3%. which will be above the Eurozone average. According to the European Commission, the driving factor for this economic growth will be the investment planted by the government's financial help packages to help the country recover from the impact of the pandemic. The gradual easing of restrictions is also expected to increase domestic demand and increase gross domestic product, it said. Meeting the European Union High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security, Josep Borrell, Prime Minister Robert Abela said that Malta's stand on the European mission to fight arms trafficking towards Libya hasn't changed. Prime Minister Abela complained that tangible and concrete assistance on migration issues are missing in a great part of the European Union. He said that assistance offered by some of the countries is small when compared to the number of migrants finding their way to Malta. One new positive COVID-19 case was registered in Malta in the past 24 hours from a total of 930 swab tests. The case is an imported one, as the infected person is a foreigner who arrived in Malta on a repatriation flight. This was confirmed by the Health Ministry, which added that another person recovered from the virus in the past 24 hours. There are currently 11 active cases, as since March 653 persons were cured, while 9 lost their lives to COVID-19.